Welcome back to Crypto Rosetta. Joe here. It's Tuesday. Bitcoin has lost 40k. In fact, it's even lost 39k. Time of recording, we are around about 39k. Going to give you my opinion on what I think is happening in the market now. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. Welcome to the family. We appreciate that. Now let's dive into the charts. For anyone that is new here, just a catch up that what we've basically been looking at is we've had this rally up on Bitcoin for the majority of last year, which has pretty much gone into the new year. New year here, 2024, expecting a pullback in Q1. That is playing out at the minute. Now, going back to sort of October, we had that SEC fear bear trap, dump the market, start to get people to sell their bags. Then the whales came in. I think we've seen a play up to cause some distribution takers back into major resistance, all based on that ETF narrative. We reached the peak ETF hype, played out beautifully as a sell the news event. Now, it was very difficult to predict how high that was going to go. It did initially go higher than I expected. Once that became apparent that it was going to cement well above 40k, the next major resistance was going to be in that area, topping towards around about 48k, maybe a little bit higher. Did say I thought maybe it could get to 51, 52 tops, maybe 50k. Either way, we were going to get a wick out of this, what I had marked as resistance area. We only got a tiny wick out. We got up to about 49k and we've rejected quite nicely. And now, as you can see, we are falling out of that resistance and heading to the next major support. Now, local support will be around about where we are now, 38, 39k. Come on to that in a moment, but the major support I actually feel is more likely to be down around about anywhere between sort of 30 and 33k. 31k was a sort of key break that we had to get back above the sort of ascending support line rather. And now that I think that major support will be retested. Now, I do have the sort of macro ABC marked on here. I appreciate that is just the bearish scenario, the bearish case, high time frame, leaving that on there for the moment. However, it will need a lot more confirmation for any chance of that playing out. So I'm not going to talk about high time frame predictions at the moment. Let's keep this local. Let's see how this pullback heads that we are expecting. Now, moving on. 4-hour time frame, looking at this, how this has played out. We've got a 5-wave move down. It may not be finished. We are currently time recording just under 39k. Now it's there or thereabouts. If it's finished or it goes a little bit lower, I think that this is a decent opportunity, especially for traders, to try and catch a bit of a long here. I do favor a bounce now more than going significantly deeper. Yes, maybe we could go to sort of 38k or even just a little bit under. That'll probably depend how traditional finance also plays out today. But either way, on the medium term, over the coming days, coming weeks, I'm expecting a bit of upside movement for Bitcoin here. So potential significant high around about 49k. I think that whole sort of range up to there from 40k above was just how the whale distribution played out. Now, going back again, those that have been with us for quite a while, I did think initially that we wouldn't get this high. I did think that distribution was going to sort of play out in the mid 30k. However, the ETF narrative, the ETF hype was a lot stronger. I think was taken advantage of a lot more than I initially predicted, which was cool. Once we had those invalidation levels that the sort of the Wyckoff distribution from a more traditional sense wasn't playing out, that was cool. We hit our invalidation and then we expected higher to come. So that higher play came. But I still think it is just distribution that is taken advantage of by smart money. Some people may have a completely different opinion on that. Some people may just think, no, it's just all part of the bull market. The price is moving up and people are buying. And then if you do believe that, leave us a comment below. But I personally don't think that a lot of retail really benefited from that move and maybe came in late on a bit of FOMO as the whales are selling and people get trapped above. Again, very similar to how we've seen people get in the market for the first time back in late 2021, who were buying their sort of first Bitcoin once they were seeing it on the news above 50k. Very similar to what happened with ETF. We had Bloomberg again and other news channels, etc. That's just, one example. Talking about Bitcoin, you get the Bitcoin hype again on the news as the whales are exiting. Now, if we get this correction, which I do think we will get, I'm expecting a sort of free wave bounce here. I've got it marked as, potential, even just natural liquidity above, because that is where the liquidity is above now. There's going to be late shorts coming in now, thinking that, oh my god, that was the top, panic selling or wanting to short late. I always say don't short late. So I think liquidity is going to be above. Expect a correction to come and take some of that out. Again, it could be very fast, it could be fairly aggressive, or this could take a couple of weeks or maybe a little bit more to play out. But because we've had what I can see on the low time frames as a 5-wave move down, I'm expecting there to be another move down, which will be sort of a deeper correction. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Now, it's hard to kind of measure where that is going. It's just a kind of prediction at the minute. I think it will sort of land anywhere between that sort of 34 and as low as 27k. So I know that's quite a wide target at the moment, but it all kind of depends on where the sort of next bounce and where the next free wave correction plays out, if it does, as we're expecting, to see where that goes. So kind of assess those targets once we get this bounce. Now, what do I think is going to be the catalyst for the next drop? It could be a whole host of things, folks. I've got the triple question marks here. These two comments are right, completely speculative. Take what you want from that. I'm just potentially estimating that maybe with new all-time highs on the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, that US stocks may have topped by that stage and have started to have a bit of a correction themselves and dive a bit. So that could also cause Bitcoin to drop. Again, we hear all the time people always, refusing to talk about correlation with traditional finance and crypto, and Bitcoin doesn't follow the stock market, and yada yada yada. And again, you'll hear a lot of people saying, oh well, the S&P 500 is at all-time highs, the Dow Jones hit all-time highs. Clearly Bitcoin isn't correlated because Bitcoin hasn't hit a new all-time high, but therefore when they roll over, Bitcoin will be blasting through 100k at new all-time highs. Then let's see how that one plays out. I personally do not think that is going to happen. I do think there is correlation here. Just because Bitcoin isn't at a new all-time high doesn't mean that it's either kind of front run on it or still potentially pulling back in a different structure in the market. Now, moving on, talking about total crypto market now. Again, this is just more of a catch-up for those that are new here, but I do think there is some significance to it. So, as you know, we've got our sort of January 2018 high as support, which created the potential bottom. Again, in the bearish scenario, this could just be a macro high time frame free wave move down, which would essentially mean that this year would have to be extremely bearish, and even significant parts potentially of 2025. This could again be very sharp. This could take a lot of time. This could take multi-years. This is if we are continuing in the multi-year bear market, but again, very difficult to assess if that's happening yet. We need to see lower prices or rather a lower total come in on this to sort of confirm for me which way we are going. So I've still got it marked. If 1.4 trillion is lost, expect a deeper correction. Now, off the bottom here, off the low, which was around about the 700 billion we got up to, I think we got a wick up to about 1.8 ish. That's a sort of about 140% move. So fairly decent move. It looks quite nice in free waves at the moment. I think you've got to expect a correction even in the bullish scenario. So if this potential bottom is the bottom, it is in, I'm still thinking that we should get a drop here. And if 1.4 trillion's lost, then the sort of major support is going to kind of come in. We may see a sort of retest of this range here, which is going to be around about anywhere between sort of 1.2 and 1.1. So that's my expectation. If the top's in for now, we could see a bit of a grind here, but don't be surprised. Because Bitcoin has just gone down, we're expecting a bounce. Alts have obviously also pulled back. I'm not expecting this to head to new highs yet. It may go a bit sideways before that move down to retest that range. Again, invalidation will come if we hit that bullish continuation target for me, which is around about 2.15 trillion. If we get up there, cement up there, it's bull market, baby. You heard it. I'm happy to say that I do believe we are in a bull market. There's lots of money going to be going into altcoins at that stage, and we'll be targeting new highs. And again, that could be in the sort of anywhere from 5 to 6 trillion range, I think is fairly conservative. Heard other people who've been in the space a lot longer, a lot more bullish, talking about 10 trillion. Definitely possible, but not really what should be getting talked about or getting much interest, in my opinion, right now. I think we need to more kind of focus on where we're at, and I'm more focusing on wait and see if this 1.4 trillion is lost. Expect that deeper correction. Total free is actually a more interesting chart to me than total. Just for those who don't know, total free is the crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, so more heavily focused on them altcoins. Now, again, had it marked up for quite a few weeks, hold above 457 billion. I think there's a high probability of bull market. We got there, we haven't held there. We've now gone for a retest, and we've actually broken it. And currently we are at 445. So off the top, that's about a 20% drop. So that's a healthy correction. Again, probably expecting a bit of a bounce here now. However, the weekly candle is not looking too healthy at the moment. So again, we may just continue to chop. We've clearly broken a trend line of support, which was a fairly steep ascending line. So that was not going to last forever, of course. Now we're coming back down. Area of support we're looking for around about 407 billion. I think we will grind down to that as a minimum expectation. And if we get down to that area, that could be an area where people may want to start thinking of heavily dollar cost averaging into altcoins if they truly believe that the bottom is in and we are in the macro bullish scenario. Now, similar to the DXY, which we'll show it towards the end of this video, of course, we broke out of the wedge. It wouldn't be shocking if we came even deeper and retested that and then bounced and then off we go for a bull market essentially. But warning, I think the bulls have to hold that. If that drops, I know we're quite a long way off that at the minute, and I do not think that we are going to flash down there unless something shocking quite happens, something that can't be predicted. Then we should be okay for a while. But if that breaks, I think that is a huge warning that there's potentially lower lows coming for the vast majority of altcoins and the wider crypto market. All linking into Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance, again, I've had this sort of ascending channel going for quite a long time now. I still believe that 60% or 57%, somewhere in that area, can be hit. However, crucial that Bitcoin holds around about this 49% area. Clear break under there, and then I'll concede that potentially the top is in for Bitcoin dominance. So we're out of the channel at the minute, but then we've had a green week last week, albeit not much, and then we are looking a bit stronger again, looking to reverse some of the losses of 2 weeks ago here. So we may have just potentially faked out this channel, and we could be coming up for a retest around about the 52.5%. We're at 51. 70 at the minute. So I think that is minimum expectation, but there could be a reaction of rejecting off there. This could be a back test, and we could actually now be potentially trending down. However, clean break of 53 and get support, that this will look like a little bit of a fake out. Things will start getting worse for altcoins, and then we can continue to grind on up. But if we do get to that 57 or 60%, I'm not sure that's going to go or going to happen fast. I don't think it's going to be steep, if I'm honest. But the way that we've had the ETF on Bitcoin now, and the fact that we have already dropped down, potentially trending down now, I think there is a less likeliness that we actually get up to the 60% area, just because we've had that ETF news. I think that we would have to see a lot more fear from the SEC, a lot more pressure and regulation go against altcoins for Bitcoin dominance to strongly increase now. So not expecting it to drop straight away here, but there is a possibility that this is the top now, around about sort of 55%. But I think it's going to be good to watch over the next few weeks. We may just go a bit sideways on this one. Now, Ethereum is just playing out beautifully, as expected at the minute. Still looking for that $2,400 plus consolidation to invalidate any bearish scenario, and that has not happened. Yes, it got up a little bit higher again than expected, but it was well and truly within my expected rejection zone. We've had a couple of wicks in there, and now we have clean dropped out. And considering we got up to the high was the Binance high coming in just over $2,700, and we're already time recording under 2,200. That is quite, again, a fairly significant drop. You're looking at a drop of around about, knocking on getting close to 20% drop off the top on Ethereum as well. But I still think we have further to go. If we are going to be holding this ascending support in the bullish scenario, I still expect that a retest, which is going to come in around about 2,000, maybe 2,050, maybe a little bit lower. It depends how fast this plays out. But I think that this could take quite a few weeks to play out. We could just go a bit sharper down here, which would kind of take us to around about April, maybe middle of March. Again, I think that this will play out. But the bearish scenario, again, similar to Bitcoin, macro ABC. If we go sharp here and we sort of take out these key levels around about 1,700 and 1,500, it looks absolutely nailed on to me that you are going to see sub $1,000 Ethereum again. But just talking about the bullish case, need that consolidation above 2,400. Just because you got to 2,700, that's not consolidation. We need to see quite a few open and closes on the weekly and on the monthly above there, and then we can talk about bull market for Ethereum and to maybe target new all-time highs. Wrapping up with the DXY, again, I think it's important to watch this one. Been talking about this, like to talk about this all the time. Dollar is dead. We've seen the rise. We've seen the correction. They're talking about dollar is dead again, holding above 100. And I told you, as soon as that happened, retest of the wedge, of the breakout, playing out absolutely beautifully. I said, look for a few bullish weeks here on the DXY. We've had 3 green weeks in a row, and we are starting this week pretty strong as well. DXY did rise yesterday, even though equities did. All because corrections were needed against other currencies. But I think that the currency corrections are going to start to come to an end probably in the next few weeks. However, I can see a stronger dollar continuing after that, because I do think we are going to need a correction on the likes of the S&P 500. Going to start to see stocks sold off and money going back into cash ready for the next dip. So DXY is looking strong. First target to clear is going to be around about this 104.25, 26 area. Clear that, expecting us to head back up to around about 107, 108 and look for new sort of 12 monthly highs on the DXY. So that's catching up with Bitcoin and Ethereum, pretty much where we are at the moment, taking a look at the sort of the total market cap. I'm going to dive more into some individual altcoins now on the next video. So if you've enjoyed this content, smash up the like, really do appreciate it. And yeah, watch out for the next video. Thanks for watching.